Let's talk about the Dare Stones and the Lost Roanoke colony. So the whole thing, as you know, is about 100 settlers. They travel from England to colonize this place called Roanoke Island on July 25th, 1587. And among these settlers is a governor, John White, his daughter, Eleanor Dare, and her husband, Ananias Dare. And together they established the first ever American colony in Roanoke called the city of Raleigh. Pretty much a month later, Eleanor Dare gives birth to her daughter, Virginia Dare, and she is the first English person to be born on American soil. But then just 9 days later, John White has to make the tough decision to return to England to bring back more supplies and resources. The thing is, he's not able to return until 3 years later. And when he finally does return, he finds no trace of the colonists or the colony. It's like they up and vanished. Okay, then in 1937, a California tourist is walking the North Carolina swamps when he finds this stone, now known as the Dare Stones because, spoiler alert, they found more than one. The stone bears an inscription that states that the death of Virginia Dare and Ananias Dare were at the hands of natives in 1591. These stones were addressed to John White and signed by EWD, or Eleanor White Dare. It states that the party relocated inland, saying, "Father, soon after you've gone for England, we came hither, where online misery and war befell them for 2 years." What's interesting is that this tourist said that he found the stone about 50 miles inland from Roanoke Island. And apparently John White had mentioned previously that the colonists eventually planned to move, quote, 50 miles into the Maine, unquote. Now, this info about the rock was obviously found in the 30s and honestly was thought to be a fake. But then this map discovery happens in 2012, plus the continued Elizabethan era artifacts they keep finding at Site X, which seems to corroborate the Dare Stone description that a handful of the Roanoke survivors fled inland. But then a new analysis of the rock was done in 2016, published in 2018. When they sliced off one end of the quartzite stone, they realized that the inside was bright white, indicating that it wasn't quartzite like previously believed, but a pure white vein quartz, which means when the rock was first inscribed, it would have had a strong contrast against the white stone. More importantly, this would be difficult to forge. What's more is that Eleanor's husband, Ananias Dare, was a stone cutter. It's totally possible that she picked up some tools of the trade from watching her husband, enough to be able to write on a stone herself. Who knows? Okay, now what do you think?